Hello friends, welcome to Finance Logic YouTube channel. In this video I would like to share with you tips of creating flexible mechanism where we need to make a flexible acquisition period of some asset. The idea is as follows. We know that in future we will buy some asset, but we don't know when exactly. And based on period of acquisition, based on acquisition year, we have a certain price because of inflation, because of cost of our asset is increasing, and we need to forecast acquisition based on imputed period where we expect to acquire an asset. And this input should be also flexible. We need to be able to change period of asset acquisition, and according to this period, acquisition costs should be appropriately updated. First that we have to do here is to create in cell B7 a drop-down list that allows us to select acquisition year. In our scenario, it could be from 2024 to 2030. So let's do that. Let's select B7, let's go to data validation, and here instead of any value I need to select list, and a source of this list is number of the years from 2024 to 2030, and click OK. Now in cell B7 we have a drop-down list that allows us to select acquisition year. Let's stop our selection at 2026. Now, our asset cost is 100 if we acquire it in 2024, but due to annual inflation, our cost is always different depending on the period when we expect to acquire an asset. Let's forecast cost of our asset based on inflation rate. So we need to increase it at appropriate inflation rate each year. So it means that depending on when we buy our asset, we have different acquisition cost and different depreciation as a consequence. Now, we need to create a flag. Flag, it is an attribute that tells us that current year is year of acquisition. All we need to do is to compare, using brackets, to compare current year with acquisition year. And we need to have an absolute reference to acquisition year, because it is used everywhere. So if it's true, then we have true as a result. If it's false, if years are not equal, then we have false as a result. That's quite simple. So in our case, we should have true only when current year is 2026. Instead of trues and false, we can have here ones and zeros. To do that, we need to use function n before our brackets. That helps us to convert trues and false into ones and zeros. Trues are converted to ones, and falses are converted to zeros. So let's do that. Let's copy it to all other years, and now we have one only when current year is 2026. And now the final thing is very obvious. All we need to do is to multiply appropriate cost that takes into account inflation, if any, by our acquisition attribute, by our acquisition flag. And if flag is 1, when we have forecasted acquisition cost that is used in our next iterations, that is used in estimation of depreciation, in estimation of accounting value of our asset, and many other things that we may have in our financial models. So the result is quite simple, and the good thing here is that we have cell B7 as an input. And it's quite flexible. We can change year of acquisition, and based on selected year, we update not only the period when we acquire our asset, but also cost at which this asset is expected to be purchased. So I hope these tips would be useful for you in your financial models. Wish you all the best. See you on our next classes.